All right, chapter 1.4, rational expressions. I'll probably be using these on either today or tomorrow. So tomorrow is the 30th. I'm just trying to put a date on them so you can keep them in order if you need to refer back to them. We're working on rational expressions, basically polynomials in the numerator and denominator. And if you think about, so the only way we can reduce rational expressions is through multiplication and division. If we look at a fraction, I don't know, 14 over 21, we can reduce this. Most of us just do the division in our head, but I want you to see this. That's 2 times 7 over 3 times 7. We can reduce this to 2/3 that way. So we can only reduce fractions through multiplication and division. We cannot reduce through any kind of subtraction or addition. So if I say have 1 plus 3 divided by 6, I can't reduce this, and it's really easy to see with numbers. But if we look at our first problem, it's also tempting to go ahead and start reducing to get some of the math out of the way. But we can't. All right, so based on that premise, I'm going to go through these, and we're basically factor reduce on all of them with some extra steps for addition subtraction. So numerator is factor, and let's factor the denominator. Okay, that allows us to reduce through that x minus 3. Our final answer is going to be 3 over x plus 3. And on these problems, they ask you to state where they are not defined. So any x value that makes the denominator 0 in the original, even if it gets factored out, is a place where this is undefined. So the x value that would make that 0 would be -3. The x value that makes that factor in the denominator 0 is +3. So our answer is 3 over x plus 3. X can't be equal to 3 or -3. Now, if we were just writing, I would write that as plus minus 3. I believe on the quiz site you're going to have to enter it as 2 separate numbers. Okay, on to example 2. Multiplication problem. We could have written it as all multiplication. What we're going to do is we're going to factor each fraction, see if we can reduce, and then just rewrite. Okay, x minus 1 times x minus 1. I'm not writing that as x minus 1 squared. It kind of helps me to see what gets canceled. Oops. And even do those monomial factors. Often they'll reduce, which they do here. We can reduce across a fraction. Now, in the numerator, we're not left with anything, but if you think about it, these each of those reduce to the number 1, so that is the number we're going to use in the numerator. And what do we have left? 2 times x minus 1. And terrible semicolon. And x cannot be equal to, looking at our original, it can't be equal to a +1, -1, or +3. And we are done with that problem. Let's try the next one. This is the same idea, but we have to flip that second fraction to do the division step. So I'm going to do a little factoring here on that first fraction. And all I'm going to do is simply flip the second fraction. You know, you can flip and factor in the same step if you're comfortable with that. Me, not so much. Okay, so just rewrite. All right, two things that multiply to give us 6 and add to give us -5, x minus 2, x minus 3. And the bottom one's a little trickier. I need a 3x in my first and a plain old x in my second. Now, I do know that the two numbers I pick are going to be equal to -2. And I'm looking for a -5. So if I do this multiplication, I'm going to get -6x. And I can subtract 1 from that to get my -5x. So +1. That means my second multiplication here is going to give me my 1x. And that adds up to 5x, so I'm in good shape. All right, let's see what can cancel. Not a lot. These x minus 2's. Now the x minus 3's are both in the numerator. That won't cancel. And I think that's it. It's one of those weird ones. I like to see everything go away. That's so satisfying. But not here. So we're just going to write our answer as 3x minus 3 squared over 2x plus 1, 3x plus 1. Take one last look. See if anything can reduce. No. Can't factor anything out. And I am hoping, yeah, I think you can enter that as squared. It seems like that XYZ has it kind of figured out. Okay, I'm going to shut this off. See you on the next video.